Welcome to Sipping TikTok About.
Yeah, really loud.
Welcome to Sipping to Talk About.
Hi, welcome. You heard the lady. Welcome to Something to Talk About. And my name is Taco, and I talk about A Song of Ice and Fire lore. This is Saturday. This is my character video, and I'm covering Sybell Spicer. Yeah, there you go. A frog's granddaughter. A mother's queen, a queen's mother, and lady of the Crag. All right, my brain has been kind of a little wonky. I'm just getting off of a little bit of a head cold, so bear with me because I've been filming a lot today and I've been making a lot of mistakes today. Let's go. Read this if you've never been here before. This will explain it. And yeah, like I said, Sybell Spicer. Who's Sybell Spicer? Well, let me tell you here. All right. Lady Spicer. Sybell Spicer, also known as Sybell Westerling, is the wife of Lord Gawen Westerling and the Lady of the Crag. The Crag. She is the granddaughter of Maggy the Frog. Whoa, you know, the magic lady that talked to Cersei and told her prophecies and stuff. That one. Maggy the Frog. She's like, oh, a little brother, something's gonna kill you, and there's gonna be a hotter chick one day. And Cersei's like, kill them all. I'm paraphrasing. But so I'm covering her as a Spicer, right? Sybell Spicer, not Sybell Westerling. So I'm gonna cover House Spicer. So here we go. House Spicer. House Spicer sigil are 3 black pepper pots on a yellow bend. There you go. That was pretty cool. Coming around the band across a field of green and silver stripes. The House Spicer is a newer house, relatively, founded by a petty lord, a wealthy merchant elevated to lord, elevated by Lord Tywin Lannister. The founder's father was a trader of saffron and pepper, who wed a magi from Essos, that's Maggy, the witch woman known as Maggy the Frog to populace of Lannisport, is alleged to have used spells and love potions. Love potions. Yeah, ask Cersei how that went. But yeah, so kind of a newer house, up jumped merchants, right? So this dude marries a frog, comes over to hang out in Lannisport, makes friends with Tywin Lannister, becomes Lord, right? And Betty Lord, but a Lord, and founds House Spicer. And then eventually marries into freaking House Westerling. You guys know what's going on here. So let's talk about Sybell. I kind of have to do a lot of Jeyne Westerling talk here and a lot of other stuff because this is one of those things where she's kind of behind the scenes a lot. So yeah, this is a fun one to write. I had to go back and listen to a lot of chapters that I kind of forgot how good they were. Good Storms chapters, you know? All right, Storming of the Clag. Sybell's brother Rolf, great name, Rolf, serves as castellan of the Crag, where Sybell is a lady of the castle. Since Sybell's husband, Lord Gawen Westerling, was captive at Seaguard, so he got captured already, sent to Seaguard after taking of Ashmark, along with other Westermain castles and 3 gold mines. The Starks move on to the Crag as part of Robb Stark's plan to draw Tywin Lannister west and out of the Riverlands. You know, until Edmure messes that up. So it's this Western campaign, right? So he goes into the Westerlands, attacks Ashmark, all these other places, gets a bunch of gold, right? Him, Freys, his whole spiel, right? And they're trying to get Tywin to head that way, and then maybe they can kind of pincer attack him, right? It doesn't work out that way, though. So one of the houses he attacks is the Clag. And yeah, where was I? During the storming of the Clag, Rolf yields the castle to Robb Stark. Sybell discreetly negotiates with House Spicer's liege lord Tywin. Yeah, she starts talking to Tywin in return for promises of worthy marriages for her daughters, Jeyne and Elena. Rolf and Sybell maneuver Jeyne into treating the wounded Robb, who got hit with an arrow, right? After sleeping with her, Robb chooses to wed her, therefore breaking his alliance with House Frey. Sybell begins providing a posset to Jeyne, claiming that it will make her fertile. I said a lot there, right? So Robb gets hit by an arrow, and then he needs like somebody to nurse him back to health, right? So she's like, "Oh, if we put Jeyne Westerling, my daughter, in there, maybe they will like kindle something." And then Robb finds out it didn't really happen, but he thinks he finds out that Bran and Rickon are killed by Theon. So he's like all messed up, and she's there to comfort him, and then they bang, and he feels like he's destroyed her honor and his honor, and then the next day they get married. And it completely ruins this huge alliance. So if she does this on purpose, Sybell Spicer is kind of pushing it. She kind of single-handedly destroyed a lot of the Robb's stuff, right? So I've covered a lot of this. I did do a what's the difference of whatever her name is, Talisa from the show, and Jeyne. So I have done a let's talk about the difference for that. So if you want a more Jeyne Westerling video, you can go get it. But this is Sybell Spicer. This is Sybell Spicer we're talking about here. So yeah, we are not really sure when they started talking. So if it was like Tywin's idea to cause it or whatever, but we do know that they were having like as soon as he took the Crag, she was having a conversation. And we're also not sure what the poultice is, but we're pretty sure it's actually to prevent a child. But of course, she's lying to her daughter. Mother of the Year, Sybell Spicer. Mother of the Year. All right. Cat meets the in-laws. All right. Sybell is part of King Robb's entourage when he returns to Riverrun from the Westerlands. Thank you. When Catelyn first meets the Westerlings in the Great Hall of Riverrun, she thinks Sybell is handsome. Handsome lady. After Rickard Karstark acts like a jerk, that happens, Catelyn notices that Robb's wolf Gawen isn't there. She's like, "Where's the wolf?" After the hall clears out, it's just the Starks and Tullys and Westerlings who Cat doesn't recognize. She's like, "Who are those ones?" Robb then introduces Sybell to Cat along with her brother Rolf and all of Sybell's children. Sybell tells them that she is honored. Oh wait, Sybell tells them that they are honored but tired from the journey, and they leave Cat and Robb alone. So it's right after Robb comes back from the west, and this whole chapter is from Cat's point of view, and she just doesn't know who these people are. And the whole time she's like, "Who's the dude with the Spice Knight, and who's these kids, and who's he has no clue what he's like looking at, right?" Or she has no clue, and then finally she's like, "Oh, where was I?" So right after, so he's like, "Oh, this is my wife and my mother-in-law, and what's up?" So after they leave, Cat immediately reprimands her son for breaking the wedding pact to the Freys. After he explains that the Westerlings and Spicers, especially Sybell, are afraid of Gawen. Oh no. Okay. Cat warns Robb that Gawen senses something bad in Rolf Spicer. Robb is dismissive of the reason why, but ultimately decides to send Rolf away. Since Robb married Jeyne, someone else needs to marry a Frey, and that goes to Edmure Tully. Excuse me. So that was kind of jumbled. So mostly this is a conversation like, okay, who are those people? And then she's like, "You broke off your wedding with the Freys? Like, that's a really big deal. That's why they marched away." And he's like, and she's like, "And also, where's your wolf?" And he goes, "Oh, well, the wolves don't like the Westerlings." And she's like, "No, like, we have to trust Gawen. Like, if Gawen doesn't like how Rolf Spicer smells, you have to get him out of here because he can sense danger." And it's a really cool scene. Like I said, I just went back through that chapter. Look at my hair. It's amazing. All right, here we go. It's a mess. Sorry. Red Wedding. When Robb goes to the twins for the wedding of Lord Edmure Tully and Rosalind Frey, Sybell remains at Riverrun with Jeyne, Elena, and her youngest son, Rolam. There, I finally said everybody's names. And and sorry, Jeep. And only Sir Ranald Westerling travels with them. So I think that's her older son. After some goofy red wedding stuff, Robb is dead, Cat is stony, and the kingdom of the north totally falls. So yeah, red wedding stuff, right? So now we're gonna kind of skip ahead because Sybell stays at Riverrun and Robb, like with Jeyne and everybody but one of them, and Robb takes, I believe it's her older son, up to the red wedding. Red wedding stuff happens, right? So now we're gonna flip to a little later where they're all discussing it at the small council. Later at a small council meeting, Jaime Lannister King watches. We're later at the small council meeting. Jaime Lannister, King Tommen signs. Okay, I think I meant to say watches King Tommen sign all papers that are brought to him by Sir Kevin. The Lannisters are granting Riverrun to Sir Aemon Frey. That goes well, and Kevin's sister, Jenna. Once the Blackfish actually surrenders, they legitimize Ramsay Snow. That's a mistake. And name it Roose Bolton, Warden of the North. Rolf Spicer is granted Castamere, wow, and raised to Lord. And Lord Gawen Westerling, Lord Gawen, Sybell, and daughter Jeyne are all granted a royal pardon, along with Lord Jonas Bracken, Lord Vance, Lord Goodbrook, and Lord Mooten for entering King Tommen's service. So, yeah, right? So, what did I just say? Pretty much because Sybell was working for the Lannisters, everybody who betrayed them is all granted a royal pardon, and Rolf Spicer, her brother, gets Castamere. So I want to be clear. I should have wrote down her like family. I don't know why I didn't. So yeah, so her and her husband have Reynold Westerling is their oldest son, and then it's Jeyne, Elena, and then their youngest son, Roland. I should have said that. I don't know. I'm all jumbled today. I'm sorry, guys. Meeting with Jaime. Since Sybell and her family were still at Riverrun during the siege or during the Red Wedding, they remained there for the siege that followed. Blackfish stayed in the castle and got surrounded by Freys and Lannisters. Sybell and her children were kept inside during the siege. The siege goes nowhere until Jaime arrives and has Edmure surrender. Sybell sits with Jaime, dressed in a green velvet gown with a necklace of seashells, with a stern face. She's looking all stern. When Jaime asks about a scab on Jeyne's forehead, Sybell says she would not give up the little crown the rebel gave her. And when she tried to take it from her head, the willful child fought me. When I tried to take it from her head, the willful child fought me. That's what she says. When Jeyne tells her that the crown was hers and that she had no right, Sybell tries to slap her, but Jaime gets in the way. Okay, what did I say there? So it's a meeting. Jeyne Westerling and Sybell Spicer, or Sybell Westerling, whatever you want to call her, are talking to Jaime. All right, and he's like, "What happened to Jeyne's forehead?" And she's like, "Yeah, well, I tried to yank the crown from her head, and she was fighting me, and it cut her forehead." And Jeyne Westerling's like, "You had no right to take that crown. Like, Robb gave it to me. I was a queen." And she's like, "You know what?" And then, like, moves. And then Jaime has to get in between, like, "No, you're not slapping her in front of me. Screw off, dude." That's what he says. He said, "Screw off, dude." Where was I? He tells them to sit down, and Sybell sits stiffly and proudly. When Jaime asks if Jeyne is carrying Robb's child, Sybell explains that she had made certain that there was no heir to the daughter's union as Lord Tywin bid her, which I'm assuming means the poultice she was giving her to help her conceive a kid was really like moon tea and was like morning after poultice, right? This is a little rough. Yeah. And an argument with Jaime. So yeah, let's get this. This is like pretty much her one real big scene that we see here. There was the one at River Run with Catelyn, but this is kind of like where you really kind of see Sybell Spicer for who she is, and she's kind of a crappy person, kind of a jerk, yeah. She then explains that Tywin promised lords or heirs as prospects for her son and daughters. Jaime says that they will have their marriages, but Jeyne needs to wait, or for at least 2 years for Jeyne to marry. Lady Sybell asks Jaime to inquire after her son Reynold, who accompanied Robb to the twins, and had no knowledge of the arrangement between Sybell and Tywin. So the phrase "have no clue." What do you think happened to your son, dude? All right. Jaime suspecting that Reynold, what a name. Reynold is likely dead, as Walder Frey did not know of the arrangement, agrees to inquire, promising that House Lannister will pay his ransom if Reynold is held captive. She then mentions that Lord Tywin promised highborn marriage for him, that Reynold should have joy of him, that Reynold should have joy of him when Jaime states that Joy is his uncle Garen's natural daughter, Sybell shouts, "You want a Westerling to marry a bastard?" Jaime, desiring to strangle the woman with her own necklace, wow, that's heavy, retorts, "No more than I want Joy to marry the son of a scheming turncloak B-word. Your daughter is worth 10 of you, my lady. You'll leave with Edmure and Sir Forley on the morrow. Until then, you will do well to stay out of my sight." That's what he said. He's like, dude, you're kind of a B-word. Your daughter's way cooler than you, and you need to get out of my sight. And if I see you, I might freaking strangle you. That's a little rough. When he then contemplates how much Lord Gawen knew of his wife's schemes, Sybell leaves with her children the next morning for the west. So that's her entire story. So we just know that they're heading out west to the land of the pines. Well, actually, to like the Westerlands, right? And we're not sure what's going to happen to him next. But yeah, so Jaime thinks that she's just kind of like not only a crap mom, but just kind of a crap person, and is not a. You don't really get a good sense that Sybell's a good person. She kind of seems like a jerk. Yeah. Prologue to wins. So this is my last slide. Is usually predictions or symbolism or theories. So this is kind of a prediction and a theory. Here we go. Sybell is tied to countless Jeyne theories. Is she preggo? Is she not? Is that even Jeyne in the last chapter? Yeah, that's one of them. It goes on, but on just Sybell, I found a Reddit post called Sybell Spicer, a superlative schemer, by GM6464 from 2 years ago, breaking down Sybell's schemes with Tywin, and comes to the conclusion that she tried to be a player of the game and ends up with a possible dead son, a daughter that hates her, and ultimately worse than she started, saying at the end of this post that she was an absolute piece who believed herself a player. And I completely agree. So yeah, go check out that Reddit post. I'm not going to give you the full thing here. I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but essentially the whole post is like, just talking like these are all of her schemes. How did she make out? Pretty bad. So yeah. On another note, I recently In Deep Geek put out a video called what will the prologue of Winds of Winter be about? So I literally that video came out as I was about to work on this. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I brought it up here. It just came out. So yeah. I mean, when I was filming this, I filmed this a while ago. I got my beard back by now. He speculates, is the prologue of Winds of Winter going to be about Jeyne? This is paired with the fact that George said that Jeyne will be in the prologue, but she won't be the POV. So he once said, oh, she'll be in the prologue, and everyone's like, oh, she's going to die because everyone in the prologue, if they're the POV, they die. And he goes, I didn't say she was going to be POV. I didn't say she was going to die. So, yeah. This is a very well done video, as well as any are from MD Geek. And if you want to know, I suggest you check it out. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description to his video. Tell him I sent you. Tell him Large Marge sent you. But anyways, there's just a big possibility that it's going to end tragically, like a lot of the prologues do. And there's going to be a little bit of magic, so possibly Stonehearty type stuff. And we know that whoever's the POV character is going to die. So maybe Sybell Spicer is going to be the next POV in the prologue and is going to die. I think there's a pretty good chance there, honestly. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think that she's just pretty much a failed schemer and she thought that she could play the game and she just can't? What do you think of Sybell Spicer? And, yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry I'm a little under the weather, so I'm a little low energy. I mean, for me, I'm probably high energy for most people, and I'm a little stuffed up still and got a cough drop in my mouth. So I apologize about all that. And, yeah, I will try to remember to put the Indie Geek video in the description, so check that out if you want to. And yeah, you guys have a good day. Don't get married to kings at all. Don't marry any more kings. Peace.